With the tournament officially underway, Qatar is hoping to move past continuing criticism of its treatment of migrant workers, as well as other controversies and missteps that have plagued the run-up to the World Cup. To speak more about this, I'm joined by ESPN sports writer Ed Dove. Ed, thanks for joining us. So, Ed, the road to the World Cup has been a bit bumpy for Qatar. Now, with the first match done and dusted, is the Gulf state breathing a little easier?
I certainly think that's what they'll be hoping, but I think only time will really tell whether the football will dominate the attention from now on, or whether there will still be this undercurrent of discontent towards the host country, towards the decision to host the tournament in Qatar. And personally, I expect there to still be a lot more controversy, a lot more discussion about some of the issues surrounding the tournament rather than the football itself over the coming days and weeks.
So, as we were mentioning, Qatar lost its opening match, and that's the first time that's happened to a host country. Can you tell us a bit more about that game? Give us some more details.
Yeah, it's a very unwanted record for Qatar to take, but it's not entirely surprising. They are one of the lowest ranked teams in this tournament. They've, of course, never previously qualified for a World Cup. It's not a country that has a long and extensive football culture, whereas this was Ecuador's fourth appearance at a World Cup. So it perhaps wasn't such a surprise. Maybe the nature of Qatar's defeat was something of a surprise. They were largely outplayed, despite having spent 6 weeks together in a pre-tournament warm-up competition and a warm-up camp. And this was perhaps a worrying omen for the games to come for the host nation.
Now, the French team are the defending world champions. What can you tell us about their chances and about any other teams we should keep an eye on?
Well, obviously, expectations accompanying France heading into this tournament were very high. Not only, as you said, are they the reigning champions, but they also have Kylian Mbappe. They also have, or should I say had, Karim Benzema, the recent winner of the Ballon d'Or. Unfortunately, the big headline for France this weekend is that Karim Benzema is now out of the tournament after sustaining a thigh injury in training yesterday. And this, in my opinion, dramatically does alter France's prospects. They still have a lot of talent, but certainly this is a big blow to their chances. But elsewhere, there's, a lot of talent to look for in Brazil, Argentina, and maybe even England this year. Who knows?
And we've been talking about how this is the first World Cup to be hosted in the Middle East. Is there a big football culture in Qatar? And if so, can you tell us a bit more about that?
No, I think in comparison to perhaps Saudi Arabia or other Gulf countries, Qatar does not have extensive football culture. They do have their own Super League. But as we saw today with supporters leaving the stadium already at halftime, already early in the second half, there isn't perhaps the attachment to the country, to the national team, as there is with other countries, and not the same level of football culture.
Ed, thanks so much for that. We'll have to leave it there. That's ESPN sports writer Ed Dove.